Hey YouTube, welcome back. So we're now a couple of weeks into spring, which is super refreshing, I have to be honest, because as fun as the snow is, it does get a little much after 3 months. Anyway, just before the snow melted last month, we celebrated Valentine's Day, which unlike many other seasonal celebrations adds a little more content to the game than usual, which is always fun. Fortunately for us, the upcoming Shamrock Day event can soon be celebrated in March, and like Valentine's Day, offers a little more content than you may expect. Now, Shamrock Day can be celebrated from March 10th through to March 17th, which is of course the real world St. Patrick's Day event. Today we're going to cover everything you need to know about this celebration, including what other activities are available, and even cover a little history about the event and how it evolved over the years. Now, Animal Crossing New Horizons was originally launched and shipped with a bunch of holidays and events missing, including Shamrock Day. Thankfully, version 1.8 that released around this time last year saw the return of Shamrock Day amongst many others. Shamrock Day is primarily a seasonal event and introduces a bunch of new items, including the Shamrock door plate, the Shamrock rug, and the Shamrock soda. Now, as you'd expect, all of these items can be purchased from the Nook Stop or the Nook Shopping app on the Nook phone if you've unlocked it. These items are pretty awesome. The Shamrock door plate can be placed on doors or hung on walls. The soda is a unique handheld item that allows players to cheer when interacted with. It's super cute. Sadly, rugs for some reason still can't be placed outside, so we'll have to settle with using the Shamrock rug indoors. Now, just quickly, the Shamrock soda isn't actually a food item like you'd expect, which does mean it's not consumable and can be used an unlimited amount of times. It also means that if you fall over, it won't break, which is pretty useful. Now, the reason Shamrock Day offers a little more than the typical seasonal event is because the Able Sisters also offer some limited time clothing items in honour of the event. These include the Shamrock hat, the Shamrock shoes, the Shamrock glasses, and finally the Shamrock suit, which is enough to get anyone in the Shamrock spirit. These can all be found for sale in the Able Sisters for around a week leading up to the event. Moving on, Shamrock Day also introduces a limited time DIY recipe, which, like some of the recipes for seasonal crafting materials, can only be obtained during the event. From March 10th and leading up to Shamrock Day on March 17th, the recipe for the Shamrock wand can be found in Bloom Presents. This should be fairly easy to find even if you're new to New Horizons, because it does have a slightly higher chance of spawning, much like the bamboo recipes for example. Anyway, the Shamrock wand sports a lucky clover design and is like any other wand, so it does mean you'll need some star fragments to craft it. So with several exclusive items, some limited time clothing, and a seasonal recipe, Shamrock Day is a little more than the average seasonal celebration and includes some great items if you're looking to celebrate the event yourself. Of course, it goes without saying these items are no longer time locked like they were in the past, and thanks to how New Horizons handles limited time items now, they are not region locked either, which wasn't always the case in past games. Now, going back in time slightly, it seems Shamrock Day was first acknowledged as a holiday in Animal Crossing Let's Go to the City or City Folk, and like all previous Animal Crossing games, saw specific items distributed to specific regions. The Shamrock hat was first distributed in Let's Go to the City in honour of St. Patrick's Day in 2009. It was distributed for about a week from March 17th within a letter from Nintendo if players had the Wii Connect 24 service activated. This item was only distributed in Europe and North American regions, and unfortunately, other than receiving the item, there was no real event. By the time New Leaf came out, Shamrock Day had evolved into an actual seasonal event, and sees Isabelle stop by the plaza to host the celebration. If you speak with Isabelle on Shamrock Day, she'll award you with the Shamrock hat as a thank you for attending. She'll also talk a bit about the event and place a St. Patrick's Day themed cutout standee on the plaza. As we mentioned earlier, this was a Western exclusive event, so wasn't available in Japan. Now, previous Animal Crossing games also saw clover items that would grow on the ground like normal weeds, but had a rare chance of spawning as a lucky clover. These could be used to increase luck or worn as a hair accessory, and was often associated with Shamrock Day in New Leaf, most likely because they started spawning around the same time. Sadly, clovers never returned to New Horizons. New Leaf also saw another unique Shamrock item called the Shamrock Shamrock clock, but this was actually an item that could be obtained from Gulliver as an exclusive item, so presumably it was available randomly all year round. Of course, this brings us full circle and back to New Horizons, with Shamrock Day evolving even further to incorporate Shamrock items and even more Shamrock clothing. But what do you think about Shamrock Day? Will you be dressing up? And also, would you like to see even more from these events in the future, like Isabel getting out of the resident services or even cutout standees being placed on the plaza? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much to all the patrons and channel members for supporting this content, and until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.